Hey, today on Contractor Fight TV, I'm going to address the huge amount of confusion about what your break-even revenue point is. I'm going to dig in, make it really simple, and in the other end of this video, I promise you, you're going to get to the bottom of why you seem to never have enough money. Let's go. All right. Super great to be with you here today. I've been on the road a lot. I've been filming a new TV show for HGTV that's coming out in 2021. And so I'm home here for a few days, and I wanted to make sure that I addressed a couple things that I'm seeing in the fight community here that seem to be big areas of confusion for so many contractors, guys. And it is your break-even point. And my hope here is that I will inspire you to see the light, okay? I will inspire you to see the light, because so many contractors are working their asses off, and they might even be doing more sales than they were before, but they're struggling to pay the bills. They're going into debt. They can't seem to turn the corner in the money game. What we're going to talk about here today over the next few minutes is crucial to you turning this shit around. All right. So the first thing I want to do, guys, I don't know why I'm looking over here. I want to define break-even revenue point, okay? Break-even revenue. Guys, it is not your overhead. A lot of guys are like, if I go, what's your break-even revenue? Whatever their overhead is, 10 grand, 20 grand, 40 grand, 16 grand, they go 16 grand. No. That's your overhead. And by the way, your overhead doesn't have any net profit. And by the way, your overhead should include the money you pay yourself. Overhead, guys, is anything that has to be paid in the business, even if you're not doing any jobs. You still have the mortgage to pay for the business or your building, your shop. You still have your truck payment. You still have your marketing, okay? You still have your salary. If you have people in the office, liability insurance, all that other shit, guys. You're not paying your field employees. You're not buying materials and getting permits if you don't have projects. That's not overhead. Overhead is the shit that has to be paid. All right, and I've done a bunch of stuff on here before on that, and jump in. At the end, I'll give you guys a link to get our daily tips. And in there, we address stuff like this and get you all the resources. So guys, your break-even revenue is simply this. It is the money that you need to deposit in your bank account each and every month that simply breaks even on what your overhead is. Okay? So no matter what comes in at the top, if I got $16,000 worth of overhead, no matter what comes in at the top, I better deposit at least $16,000 after all the projects are done and all is said and done to break even on my overhead. So I'm not making a profit. I'm just breaking even. All right. This is to stay afloat. How long can you float? Can you float? If you're not hitting your break-even revenue point, you're sinking. You're not bobbing in the water with a life preserver on. Guys, break even is just like that. You're in the water. You're not in a boat and you're dry, you're in the water. You're like, fuck, wave hits you in the face now and then and shit like that. All right, so that's break even, guys. How do you calculate your break even revenue point? Super simple. Take your overhead, dollars, divide it by your gross profit in decimal form. Some of you just went, fuck, now we're back in junior high math. If your overhead is $20,000, ding, the average gross profit that you've been turning in your business is, say, 40%. You would take 20,000 divided by 0.40. That will give you $50,000. That $50,000 is what you need to deposit into the bank in that month, if we're talking monthly, in order to have enough money left to pay the $20,000 worth of overhead. That means if you brought in 50 grand and deposited 50 grand, you would have spent 30 of it producing the work. You'd have 20 left. You'd break even, okay? That's how you calculate it. So figure that shit out. I ain't gonna fucking hold your hands anymore on this shit, guys. I got too many videos out here and so much content out the ass, and I still get messages from guys going, well, what's overhead and all this other stuff? Guys, come on. Be accountable to your fucking self for once, all right? Let's go. Guys, finally, a couple things here. Many guys are struggling. There's more debt. You're not making any more money, struggling to pay the bills, and you just can't get ahead. And you're like, what the hell am I doing? I mean, we've all been there. I can't work any harder. I personally believe that in many of those cases, there's confusion on break-even revenue versus what you need to sell per month. So in the example I gave earlier, where if my break-even revenue was $50,000, a lot of guys go, that's what I need to sell in a month. Now remember, sales is what you get a contract on and a deposit. I could sell a job today, not produce it for 3 months, and so I'm only getting the deposit now. So I didn't get the whole sale amount now. The deposit is revenue. Okay, the sale is the whole thing, but the revenue varies on when it comes in. And that's the confusion that so many of you guys, and I want to make it simple here, while you're struggling is you're setting your break-even point. Let's say your math is right. You go, yeah, my break-even revenue is 50 grand. Well, then you set a monthly sales goal for 50 grand. No, your sales each month should outpace your revenue that comes in. Okay, so I'm recording this at the end of January 2021. If I sold a $50,000 project today, I'm not collecting all $50,000. So my sales would be, you know, whatever I sold before today plus the 50 grand, I'd have that in sales for the month. But it's very possible that I didn't produce any jobs because of weather or whatever, or delays, or maybe I'm just a shithead. And I might have sold $150,000 on the books going forward, but I might have only collected the deposits of 10 or 15,000, and I'd be short on my break-even revenue goal to cover my overhead. Don't confuse what you need to deposit each month with what you need to sell each month. And that's where I see a lot of guys struggle with this. And this is where the light goes on, bing, in their eyes when we finally understand it. They're like, oh my God, no wonder I'm struggling all the time. I want to encourage you to take the time to figure out your break-even revenue with the formula that I gave you. Okay? Then take the actions to make it happen. Send your fucking invoices. Bill people. Get signed contracts. Knock on people's doors that are blowing you off for money. It's your duty to get the fucking money in the door, home slices. Sleases. All right? So, take the action. Once you understand it, take the action. Your life will be a lot better in the money department, I promise you. Earlier I mentioned I would give you the link to our daily tips. It's real simple. It's on our homepage of our website, at contractorfight.com. Go there and you'll see yours truly going, hey, sign up for our daily tips, put your email in, and boom, you're going to get them. All right? Every morning they come out. They're quick to consume. They're really easy to read and easy to implement. You guys rock. I got to roll. See you next time.